Good morning, everyone. Today, as per previous classes, we'll look at the possible reason for the question raised by Sumati. By studying the intention behind the question, we can get to have a clearer picture to the answer by the Buddha. When I read question 4 raised by Sumati, I immediately thought of the Pure Land Buddhism. As such, today I will touch a little bit on Pure Land Buddhism and also cover some part of the Contemplation Sutra. Now we shall start with the questions. Sumati asks, how may one perceive oneself receiving birth by transformation, arising from a thousand-petaled lotus flower and giving reverence to the Bhagavan face to face? Let's see what birth means in Buddhism and what is birth by transformation. Buddhism describes birth in many ways. In the dependent origination or the 12 link, we know ignorance gives rise to formation. Then from formation to consciousness. From consciousness, you have your name and form. And from name and form, you have your 6 senses. By the power of consciousness, one is linked to a womb, and there the body develops. Birth in Buddhism includes not only the moment of delivery, but taking birth, descent, coming to be, coming forth, appearance of aggregates, and acquisition of sense sphere of the various beings. That is called birth. There are basically 4 types of birth. One is through egg, womb, moisture or heat, and apparitional or miraculous. Birds like robin, ostrich, and peacock. Some reptiles like crocodile and turtles. Fishes and insects are born from eggs. Mammals are born from wombs, such as human beings, dolphins, and cats. The moisture and heat, they are too small for the naked eyes. In modern day, if you look through the microscope, they are also born out of egg. However, during ancient time, they don't have microscope and view them as spontaneous birth from warmth and moisture. For apparitional or miraculous birth, we will cover this aspect when we talk about the form and formless realms. Most importantly, all these births are about the arising of a new living entity within samsara cyclic existence. These are the 4 ways that living beings are born into the 3 realms and 6 planes of existence. What are the 3 realms? They are the formless realm, the form realms, and the desire realm. Every one of us, including our furry friends, all belongs to the desire realms. It consists of heaven, asuras, humans, animals, hungry ghosts, and hell. They differ in degree of happiness, but they are bound by sensual desires. which cause them suffering. Those in the heavens enjoy an incredible happiness associated with the senses as a result of their practice of the 3 acts of goodness: doing good deeds, speaking good words, and thinking good thoughts. Buddhism regards heaven as a transition. It's not a final destination. Happiness diminishes as we are born to the lower states. Those in the 3 lower states undergo much suffering and difficulty. Human beings are in the middle state and experience both happiness and suffering. In the form realm, its inhabitants all have locations and bodies of a sort, though those bodies are composed of a subtle substance which is of itself invisible to the inhabitants of the desire realms. The beings of the form realms are not subject to the extremes of pleasure and pain or governed by desires for things pleasing to the senses. In the formless realms, none of the beings inhabiting it has either shape or location, and correspondingly, the realm has no location either. This realm belongs to those devas who attain and remain in the 4 formless absorption of the arupa dhyanas in a previous life, and now enjoys the fruits of the good karma of that accomplishment. Beings from the heavens of the desire, form, and formless realms are born through transformation. Sumati's 4th question was about receiving birth by transformation. In Buddhism, we believe that the first 3 types of birth involve pains, like, for example, human beings who stay in the mother's womb for about 9 months. It's a cramped and smelly place, and we have to endure all kinds of discomfort. As the fetus grows bigger, getting ready for delivery, it has to face contraction pain too. Then, as it finally comes out, it has to bear with the colder air as compared with within the womb. If we can be born by transformation, then we need not go through this kind of suffering. The first 3 kinds of birth are undesirable. Now we switch our attention to Pure Land Buddhism. What does this got to do with Sumati's questions? What is Western Pure Land of utmost bliss? Sukhavati's refers to the Western Pure Land of Amitabha. Sukhavat means full of joy. There are altogether 9 grades of birth into the Pure Land. This is a wall painting of the paradise of Amitabha inside the southern wing of Cave 172, Dunhuang, China. The painting is approximately 10 feet high, which was painted during the Tang Dynasty, mid-8th century. Due to oxidization, you couldn't see the original vibrant colors of the paint. On the left and right section of the painting, it describes about the various stages of contemplations which introduce us to the Sutra on the contemplation of Buddha Amitayus. Amitayus means infinite lives. There are some more paintings which I got them from the internet. The last one is definitely a modern painting because you can see the very vibrant color. Also, the Buddha has a round face which is one of the features of the modern outlook of a Buddha. The Pure Land is a joyous world, soft and glowing, filled with the music of birds and the tinkling of trees adorned with precious jewels and garlands of golden bells. Amitabha sits on a lotus in the midst of a terrace pond, attended by the Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara and Mahasatthvaprata. The newly dead enters into lotus baths, which unfold when the occupants have become entirely purified and have attained enlightenment. Those who attain birth on the highest level of the highest grade are sentient beings that who resolve to be born in that land, awaken the three kinds of faith, and so are born there. What are the three kinds of faith? They are first, sincere faith, second, deep faith, and third, the faith that seeks birth, thereby transferring one's merit. Those who have these three kinds of faith will certainly be born there. This is the little baby boy we saw earlier on. From the picture, the one in the white circle is someone who has attained the highest grade. Hence, when he instantly born into the Pure Land, he gets to see the Buddha immediately. Then the other white circle is a musical deity with his other partners are playing music to welcome the new member. This is the musical deity. Those who attain birth on the lowest grade will be inside a lotus bud. After 12 great kaplas, the lotus bud blossoms. He will then be greeted by Avalokitesvara and Mahasatthvaprata Bodhisattva. One great kaplas is approximately 1.344 trillion years. To get 12 great kaplas, we have to multiply by 12. For those at the highest grade will be born in a lotus bud which blossom instantly and get to see the Buddha immediately. Many are said to be reborn on earth after leaving Sukhavati to become Bodhisattva, working towards the liberation of all sentient beings. We pause for the moment to go back to question. How may one perceive oneself receiving birth by transformation, arising from a thousand-petaled lotus flower and giving reverence to the Bhagavat face to face? From these questions, I think Sumati is asking the number 12 practice of the Sutra on the Contemplations of Buddha Amitayus. After accomplishing the previous 11 practices on contemplation, the practitioner will no longer be born through the first 3 types of birth. Let's go through the sutra on the 12th contemplation. Visualize yourself as born in the western land of utmost bliss, sitting cross-legged upon a lotus flower. Visualize this lotus flower as closed. As it opens, 500 rays of color light illuminate your body. Then your eyes are open and you see Buddhas and Bodhisattvas filling the sky and hear the sounds of the water, birds, and trees. And the voices of the Buddha, all expounding the wonderful Dharma in accord with the 12 divisions of the scripture. When you rise from meditation, keep those things in mind and do not forget them. Seeing them thus is called the visualization of the land of utmost bliss of the Buddha Amitayus. This is the comprehensive visualization and is known as the 12th contemplation. This is a picture of a practitioner practicing the 12th contemplation. When we relate Sumati questions and this sutra, Sumatis want to be born in the Western Pure Land of utmost bliss and not somewhere else, and to be born in the higher grades of birth so that once she enters into the lotus bud, she can instantly blossom and see the Buddha. Finally, we have a better understanding of the questions with reference to the sutra on the contemplations of Buddha Amitayus. The 16 contemplation practices are only for those with sharper minds to be practiced exactly as stated. Although seldom practiced this day, the corresponding sections in the sutra are still studied to acquire an inspired sense of the majesty of Amitabha and attributes in his Pure Land. These help us to give rise to aspiration to born into the Pure Land. The entire sequence of 16 contemplation, as is described in the 5th to 6th century sutra, which then give rise to painting of this kind that we see in Dunhuang caves. In the Song dynasty, the sutras become very specific modes of monastic rituals and self-cultivation. This kind of painting helps to spread Buddhism, as sutra were not easily accessible to everyone, and not everyone was literate too. Let's see the Buddha's answer. First is to give flowers, fruits, and fine powder incense as offering to the Tathagata and to the stupas. In Buddhism, when we say about flowers and fruits, they are very much interrelated. That is cause and effect. You need to have flowers before you can have fruits. It's all about your cultivation. When you are offering flowers and fruits to the Buddha, it's not that the Buddha wants the flowers or fruits. The best kind of offering is your cultivation. Then what does the fine powder incense mean? In Buddhism, we call them the precept incense. This means that if you observe and uphold the precepts, then you will get a kind of fragrance, the fragrance of no harm, the fragrance of no violation. With regards to the 9 grades of birth, those who want to be born in the highest level of the middle grade, or the 4th highest, would need to observe the 5 precepts. The second answer is not to harm others. I think this answer is pretty obvious if you want to aim for the high or middle grade birth. Third, to make images of the Tathagata placed within a lotus flower. In the 8th contemplation, the practitioner would contemplate the Buddha and Bodhisattva seated on the lotus flowers. So the third answer is also got to do with these contemplations or visualization. The 4th is to give rise to profound and pure faith in the Buddha, in the body of the Bodhisattvas, of the Buddha. We have already covered this earlier on. To attain the birth on the highest level of the highest grade, we need 3 kinds of faith: sincere faith, deep faith, and the faith that seeks birth, thereby transferring one's merits. And we conclude, For the answer, at that time the Buddha spoke a verse. By giving flowers and incense to the Buddha and stupas, and not by harming others, making images, and having profound faith and understanding of Bodhi, you may attain lotus flower birth before the Buddhas. We have finished the part on question 4, and I hope to see you next week. We will discuss about question 5. See you next week. Goodbye.